Hey, have you seen the news today about this stunning young British teenager, Emma Raducanu, who has just got into the US Open final in Flushing Meadows in America? And it's just amazing. She's a young player, only 18 years old, just done her A levels this summer, and she first came to our attention in at Wimbledon during the summer, where she got to the last 16 as a sort of a qualifier coming in, and that was amazing enough. But now she's gone on to go into the US Open as a qualifier. That means she has to play several games to qualify to get into the tournament. And she's now risen, and I've been watching her going through the quarterfinals, then she got into the semi-finals, and now she's in the finals. It's just unbelievable. Stunning player. I noticed her at Wimbledon, the way she hits the ball, the way she moves. She's a lovely young girl, great player, and such a level-headed, modest girl. I remember her talking at Wimbledon about, oh, this is wonderful. I'm just happy to be here. The food is great. They look after you. Because normally these players will be playing, in front of a small crowd, on a windy court somewhere in England, playing out these county championships, and then suddenly you're in Wimbledon on the centre court, or now she's in America, one of the biggest tournaments in the world. And she's a Londoner, Raducanu, born in Toronto, Canada, to a Romanian father and a Chinese mother. So she's of a migrant extraction, and she's consented her dream run. She beat this Greek player, Maria Sakkari, who is 17th seed. So she's much higher up in the rankings. Big hitting Greek player who was expected to win. And if you just watch some of the highlights, the victory was absolutely amazing. She's the first qualifier. As I said, that means she has to go for all these rounds. So she'd be much more tired than players who just come in and start. The seeded players who come in and start the tournament. So she's had to fight her way through, like fighting like dogs to get into this tournament. So she's the first qualifier to reach a Grand Slam final, and she's going to play another teenager of migrant extraction, Leylah Fernandez, and she's another young. I think she's only 19. Leylah's father is Ecuadorian, and her mother is Filipino Canadian. So it's the battle of the teenage migrants here. I think it's the first time in years since there was two teenagers in the final of the US Open, and these are both from and in fact, in an interview on the Jeremy Vine show on Radio 2 today, the former British number one player Andrew Castle commented that there was something about both of the finalists' ordinary migrant heritage that seemed to give them that extra drive, that extra ambition and fight to succeed. And bearing in mind, they come from fairly ordinary backgrounds. They're not wealthy people, and it costs a lot of money to succeed in tennis. You've got to spend a lot of money on clubs, on coaches, on rackets, on gear. It's very, very expensive. One racket can cost hundreds of dollars, hundreds of pounds, and you see players walking on with like five of them on their back in case one breaks during a match. So it is very unusual for a young player to come through from, say, an ordinary working class family to come through and get to the top in tennis. Of course, we think of the Williams sisters who did that a few years ago, but it's very unusual. Most of them come from middle class families, fairly well off families, and like our own players here, to get through to that level and to make it. And it's very tough. Talent is not enough. You need more than talent. You need to work at it. You need to focus on it, not get distracted with other games and other sports. You need much more than talent, as Andy Murray has done, because his parents had the money to send him off to special schools, to residential tennis schools in Spain, for instance. So it does take a lot to get through. We see loads of young talented people. I've seen them in my son's school. One of his friends was a top county player, but he never went on to reach the top, because maybe he just didn't, in the end he just did other things and got involved with other things and other sports maybe, or just didn't have that drive to make it in tennis. And as you know, I was interviewing the daughter of a migrant family last week, young Chloe, and she's definitely got the talent and brain. She's got a massive IQ, has done a Mensa test and got into a good school, but she needs more than talent. You need that extra drive and ambition to succeed. A lot of child geniuses fizzle out. You know, they might be a child genius in one thing, but they haven't got that all-round ability to succeed in general in life. I'm not saying everyone, but I've watched documentaries about young child geniuses, and you think, well, they're going to go off to be the top of this or the top of that or running a company, but it's not always the case. You know, there might be a genius in one thing, but that's it, you know. But I think in these cases of Emma and Chloe that I interviewed last week, and obviously Leylah Fernandez in Canada there, they've got the talent and the drive and the persistence to exceed in their sport and in their chosen field. So I really think that it's fantastic. And she's the first British woman to reach a major singles final of any major singles in 44 years. And when we talk about majors and Grand Slams, we're talking about the likes of Wimbledon, the Australian Open, the US Open, and so on. So it really is a stunning victory. We know we've had great success with Andy Murray here, but in women's tennis, this is the first time in 44 years. In fact, the last one, I think, maybe in Virginia Wade, who was the last woman to achieve this feat at Wimbledon in 1977. And, you know, Raducanu, she plays with such fearless way, you know, with such a confidence, like she doesn't realise the pressure she's under. She just goes out there and hits the ball. So really well done. And she's the youngest British Grand Slam finalist in 62 years. First woman to reach the US Open final. British woman in 53 years, following Virginia Wade. And only the fourth British woman to reach a Grand Slam in the Open era. Only the fourth British woman to do that. So the win puts her now on the verge of the top 30. So she's assured of becoming the British number one if she reaches just the last four of the Flushing Meadows. So this London teenager who just was doing her exams or A-levels this summer, passed her A-levels, so she's still got her feet on the ground. And this gives her a shot at one of the most prestigious titles in tennis. And as I said, she faces this 19-year-old Canadian world number 73, Fernandez, who's also got through. She's beaten, you know, to get to this final, she's beaten some big hitters, you know, so they've both really done well. So good luck to both of them. Obviously in the UK, we're going to be cheering for Emma, so good luck in the final. But whoever takes the title, I think it's a victory for all hard-working, dedicated migrants. So good luck to both of them. Wonderful. Now, Emma actually previously booked her flight home at the end of the qualifier. So she went there to go through the qualifying stages, probably thought, well, I better book a flight home in case, booked her flight home, and she's admitted that, you know, she's very modest. And she could become the highest paid British sportswoman ever if she reaches, you know, if she goes on from here. You know, but it's still early days, and I think the media will probably put her under a lot of pressure. There's no doubt that her earnings potentials and her profile have skyrocketed since she splashed onto our screens in the summer in Wimbledon. But she needs to really sort of keep her feet on firmly on the ground, and she needs to concentrate really on her game rather than, you know, celebrity appearances. A lot of young sports people get too tied up in the celebrity world. I remember Beckham was told off by his manager Alex Ferguson for always being on TV and celebrity. But, you know, Beckham went to stratospheric heights in terms of celebrity and that sort of thing, even after football. But I think she also needs some very good advice, especially in not only in tennis, but in life and in financial aspects. She needs very good financial advice. You know, too many young stars, you know, we see them on, you know, Pop Idol and the X Factor and sports stars, you know, suddenly they become instant millionaires, don't they? Oh, she'll make $1 million in her first month. But then what happens to them after that? You know, if they don't really concentrate on their game, the real thing that they've got there, you know, to get them there, whether it's the music, their sport, or just their talent, you know, then they can quickly fizzle out. And you often hear about them ending up broke. I've written about it myself in Yes, Money Can Buy You Happiness. I've written about the stars who've made it and become broke at the end of it. You know, the biggest sports star I can think of in that category is of course Mike Tyson, who made hundreds of millions of dollars and ends up broke and now on, you know, these celebrity panel shows trying to scrape a living. We also talked about, there was an interview today with Peter Shilton, the England goalkeeper, who has had a gambling habit for 44 years. He's quit the habit now, but he admits openly that he's lost over £1 million in gambling to the bookmakers. In one online gambling site, he lost £800,000 just to that one site. And he laughed that they used to send him a hamper at Christmas, and he thought, oh, they're nice people. And his recent new wife said, they're not nice. You know, you've boosted their profits by hundreds of thousands of pounds this year. So you can easily get caught up in other things, you know, when money comes quickly, and especially when, you know, you're earning a lot of money as a young person, it can quickly go to your head. But I think Emma, she seems special to me. So I think she's got a good family there, good values, and I think she'll keep her head in, you know, a head in one place and her feet on the ground, so that she can, concentrate on her tennis. Maybe she's going to continue with her studies. I don't know. She might do. But I think she's going on. We'll hear a lot more about Emma Raducanu. So good luck, Emma. We're rooting for you in England. Go there. Keep going. All the best. Now, you know, just on another side, millionaires and millionaire habits have been documented and studied for years. Best-selling books like Think and Grow Rich, The Science of Getting Rich was one of the early ones, were written over 100 years ago. And I published my own book, as I said, Yes, Money Can Buy You Happiness, which you can find on Amazon. So we know that the millionaire habits, what they are. You know, we know that there's certain traits that you can follow, and success leaves tracks, as they say. Now, I'd say you can follow their tracks too. You don't have to be a massive sports star. In The Millionaire Next Door, that study of millionaires in America, it was found that the average millionaire next door is not a sports star, is not a film star, is not a movie star, is not a pop star. It's a person that's worked hard, built a business in some form or another, many types of businesses, and they've kept their feet on the ground. They've saved, they've invested well, they've used their money, they've made their money work hard for them, and they've become millionaires over time. So if you would like to learn more about how you could do this yourself, how you could manage your money better, how you could become a professional property investor, for instance, then look at my free training below. It's on-demand training. You can click on the link below, and I have a special gift for you that can immediately transform your finances within days if you just follow that formula. And just click on that link. Places fill up fairly quickly there. So take action now. Click on the link, and you could become financially free without necessarily working any harder than you are now. But we can very quickly turn your finances around with a few simple steps that I can tell you about in my free training. So thanks very much. Have a great day wherever you are, and good luck, Emma. Go!